Hello, everybody. I'm gonna do a comedy skit for you, and this is what I have planned. Just kidding, I'm not gonna tell you what I have planned because that would be giving it away. So, anyway, as you know, there's a bit of an art form to not being insulted and offended by other people. Not everybody has mastered that. And I thought, everybody had mastered this. Uh, But that was before I actually got on social media. Yeah. So when I got on social media, I realized that, wow, you say one word, like I mean, everybody has like a trigger word. It doesn't matter what it's about. Like you could say, hey, I think trans should put up Christmas trees, and uh and then there's always going to be somebody, and they're not necessarily trans, they're always just trans advocates. They're like, my brother's trans, or my friends are trans, or I think I might be trans, or actually I'm not really trans, but I love trans. Okay, and I was like, that's great. I have nothing against trans, but there's always a woman in the comments. Have you noticed that? There's always some woman who's very passionate, and she said, "You cannot say that about trans people." I just said that trans people can put up Christmas trees. I was encouraging them. That's sexist. What if I said non-binaries can do it? Well, then that's okay. Okay, cool. That's not a trigger word for you. Okay, can people put up Christmas trees? Yeah, it's fine. And then I'll say trans. And then they're like, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. So I tell people this, and I've been very open on the internet, which I shouldn't be, because it's a whole cesspool of deception. But I just decided to be honest, and I said, look, I really support the trans. Okay, I support people with their lifestyle choices. I don't, I'm not uh spending my nights awake thinking, gee, what do trans people do? you know what do they do? How do they transition? I don't really need to know the mechanics of that. I know pretty much the basics of what has to happen. I knew about trans for a long time, and they've been around a long time, so I don't really need it described in great detail. But if you did, well, I'm not going to lose sleep over it. But I tell people, I was like, I know you're trying to passionately defend the trans people, but the trans community can defend themselves. We live in a day and age where people are very outspoken, especially when you're on Facebook. So they're gonna defend themselves. I've seen them. They're fierce. They bite. Her, you know, they have claws now. They have claws and teeth. That's the same thing that happened with the gays. People thought, oh, they're gay, and I was like, do you realize, when you say that someone's gay, that they're probably uh more manly than you are? I'm sorry. They have the same amount, if not more, testosterone than the next guy. Okay, and just because a woman is gay, that does not make her less of a woman. It just means that she's attracted to women. This is shocking news, I know. But the thing about trans is they don't need help. They love your support. They love that you love them. Okay? They love it all the way, okay? But, well, that sounds dirty. Sorry. They love people supporting them. Okay? That's the main idea. So, it's like you're trying to include them in society, right? Let's include them in society. Why not? It's fantastic, okay? We have a whole new community now of trans people, and now they can be accepted and loved and hopefully not thrown out on the streets. Sounds good. Uh, you know, And not that they get thrown out on the streets. I think that's more of a thing that happened to gays, but maybe it goes with trans too. I'm sure it happens. But, if you're trying to include someone, why are you excluding everybody else? And this is where I'm getting at, is that if you bark at everybody that disagrees and says, no, you're disagreeing with, no, I was agreeing with you. I tell people that. I was like, I'm agreeing with you. And it's like, okay, if you're going to sit there and say, hey, I love trans, but I hate you because you hate trans, how is that making a difference? You might as well just be sticking your thumbs up your ass or blowing smoke rings out of your ass, whichever you prefer, because it's a waste of time, as is sticking your thumbs up your ass and blowing smoke out of your ass, because it's stupid and it's pointless. So if you want to include people, first of all, if I want to include, let's say I am spreading awareness about autism. Hey, I already do that. But let's say for a moment, like, I didn't do that and I'm just making up this scenario. Okay, let's pretend. So I do, and I go out there and I try to, spread awareness about ableism. But then I go out of my way and I shout at people and I say, fuck you! You're ableist! It's like, dude, I'm just walking across the street. Why? Well, you just have that look. You look at ableist. Let me tell you, do you think that you're better because you're crossing the street? You're crossing the street right now. Okay, that is why you're ableist, because you expect to be able to cross the street. And therefore, you think that you are better than those that are disabled. Can you imagine how people would look at me? They would look at me, they'd like, are you going through a medication adjustment? Are you going through some mental issues? Is there a number that I can help you call? Here's my phone. Or they would just try to very quickly walk away from me. And the thing is, you cannot put people in a box and expect to include a whole community. This is one of the reasons. So yeah, this is where it gets really clever. So you can't go around, put the whole world on a box and stand on it, sit on it, whatever you want to do with that, and then expect to, first of all, you can't make a difference when you're sitting down. You just can't. And when you sit there and you point your fingers at people, you're sitting down on that box that you have put the world in, and then you expect to make a difference. Guess what? You just put everybody in a corner. How are you supposed to include people? I'll just shove them here. That's like expecting to put up a Christmas tree, but then but you shove it into a closet. And then say, hey, I got a Christmas tree, but nobody can see it, but I can because I can open the closet. Does that make sense? No, it makes no fucking sense. That's why this whole let's accuse everybody of being ableist doesn't make sense. And the same goes for everything else when they say, you're racist, you're racist, you're racist, you're racist, you're racist. Are you just saying that you're racist or you're ableist or whatever it is? Is that what you're saying? Because if that's what you're saying, just be honest. Just be honest. Just text me secretly and just say, Kelsey, I might be kind of prejudiced. I was like, okay, cool. At least you're honest about it. Just be honest with me. I'll respect that. But don't go on and about how I am the problem. Because I can tell you something. I've been the problem for a long time. And I'm getting mighty tired of it, aren't ya? Are you getting tired of always having other people be the problem? Is that exhausting for you? Let me tell you. Is that exhausting? Is that tiresome? To have to stick that little bug up your nose every day? Is that really hard? I don't know how do people do that? You know, do they pull their underwear up over their head and just go, "Hi, hi, you're ableist. Ow, that hurts." Like, that's what I think would be if you had to be that kind of bitter person. That would be like having your underwear going up your butt. It just would be very painful for me. And I would rather have a mother of wedgies than have to deal with that every day. So I'm so glad that I'm not that person. But, you know, never in my life have I gone around and said, look, let me sit on my soapbox and let me tell you how I'm so much better than you are. Like, I've never done that. People who are prejudiced tend to do that, you know, people that actually are miserable people, or they just want to vent, you know, there's nothing wrong with venting. And another thing, do you ever get tired of these people? They go on social media, okay? They go on social media. These people that go on social media, they're like, oh, my life is so horrible. The kids are bitches. Oh my goodness, I didn't sign up for this. Oh, that's such a burden. My children are a burden, my husband. And I was like, wait, your children? Did you just say your children? Okay. And I've actually told someone this. I said, sir, you did sign up for this. Now, unless you were tied down, like you were, like a gun was put to your head and they said, you need to raise these children. Or, you know, it was a case of like, you know, the mother was, you know, it was, the child was from a sexual assault. You know, that's really serious. And sometimes, you know, you don't have a choice to, you know, whether or not to raise the child, you know. Um, but even then, there are choices, somewhat. What I'm saying is, unless somebody forced you to do this, you didn't. You signed that birth certificate. You put your DNA into that child. Doesn't matter if you're the father or the mother. Your neurodivergent genes are inside of that child. You did this after you guys made a connection in the bedroom, wherever you were at the time. And you decided to have a good time when you were connecting with each other. And it was really fun. I'm sure it was. And then, boom, 9 months later, you're pregnant, okay? And then, you know, you're like, at that point, are you saying I didn't sign up for this? Maybe you are. But the thing is, like, when the baby comes, you're like, oh, so cute. You don't think to yourself, oh, this is going to be a terror. This is going to be a burden. I'm just going to hate this creature that comes into my home. No, you signed the paperwork. You stayed with your wife. You stayed with your child. Maybe you're the woman that had the child. And then you go home and you buy clothes. Hopefully you already have clothes there if you're a smart person. And then you feed the child. So you clothe them, you feed them, you think, this is about, I should think this through, because if I don't want a child, I can always turn back. There's always a adoption, but then you think, oh, no, we can't do that. We can't do that. And the same things go for adoption. You actually choose a lot more when you adopt, because you're signing papers. You got to go through a background check. Lawyers have to be involved. Who knows? You know, there's all this red tape and stuff, and then you got to have money, and you know how it goes. I don't know how it goes, but I imagine that's how it goes. So they go over there and they do whatever, and they say, I got a child, yay! And then, you know, and then all of a sudden, and then like 10 months later, or like whatever, like 4 months later, they're like, oh, I'm like, yeah, being an adult sucks, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. But you know, there are a bazillion people that have to deal with this. And you're thinking, oh, but it's an autistic child. It's so much harder. Of course it is. I'm validating you, and I feel your pain. But the thing is, you chose to have that pain. And guess what? Don't fucking tell me that there's a burden, because I was treated like that. And that's the only reason I would use certain words that might be triggering, like superpower or extra ability or things like that. Because guess what? I'm just trying to save you. If you're an autistic parent, I'm trying to save you. I'm not judging you. I'm not saying you're a horrible person. I think you're a warrior, and thank you for supporting the autistic community. But do not say those things on social media, because I'm going to tell you this. Just because you think, oh, it's on YouTube, oh, it's on Messenger, oh, it's on Facebook, I can just delete it, right? No. Once you delete it, that's the common misconception. That's like when guys are real creepy to me and they're like, hey, you want to see my dick? No, I'm gonna show it to you anyway. And I was like, I'm not into the, oh, sorry. And then they delete it. And it's like, do you realize the FBI, the CIA, the government, and probably half of Russia, as well as anybody who can use their brilliant hacking skills, can look into your messages just fine. It's not that hard. Your messages aren't encrypted. They aren't secret, okay? None of your texts are secret, and none of your posts are secret. Just because you push delete does not mean that they're gone. It's like an email. Oh, I'll just push the delete button. That means it's gone forever. No, it's not gone forever. It's there forever. Guess what? You can't delete the fact that you were being a bitch that day, okay? You can't erase that. And the thing is, if your kid is smart enough and they grow up and they find that comments, oh my gosh, you're going to have a 20-year silence. They're going to find that out that you actually said this to other people. They overhear that. They do that. It's going to mess them up. So I'm trying to say, don't mess up your kids by saying that. First of all, I'm not dictating what you should do, but I think you should definitely say, like, hey, this stress is really a burden. It's really tiresome, but I love the child and I will do everything for them. Be a little bit more positive, because you don't know the effect that your words have on a child, because when you tell them that they're a piece of shit, they think that they are a piece of shit if you tell them that enough times. You tell them that, they're going to become what they hear and what they feel. And if they feel that that they're sick of you, that you're done with them, they're gonna be like, oh, I guess I'm not wanted here. Okay, I'll just go cry myself to sleep in my room, thanks. Which is what I did for most of my childhood. It was great. It was fantastic. It was like so cool, because like my parent, this is what my parent was like my parent. She wasn't even my mom. She would just like be so cool around everybody. She would be like, oh, my child's so cool and we're so good. You're so cool. And they would just say, you're so good. And she's like, I know. And then we would get home and she was like, why the fuck did you say that? What is wrong with you? What did I say? You didn't say anything that was a problem. And what were you doing? What? Like, that is so, like, and it would just be all that time. Like, it would just be something very happy. Like my aunt would bring me gifts. And she'd be like, here, have some gifts. And I was like, thank you so much. And I would be really happy. And I'd look at them and I'd go, oh, yay. And whatever. And then my aunt would leave and this woman would come and she'd have that exact look and she'd be like, it just came to my attention. And I'm like, oh, wait for it. You don't seem to have like this great reaction. Like you don't seem very happy when she's giving you gifts. Okay, was I supposed to react better? Well, you just don't seem to have a lot of enthusiasm. Try to show a little bit more enthusiasm next time somebody gives you a gift. Yeah, okay. I will make sure that I will freak out the next time. I will go all Meg Ryan on them the next time at the restaurant in Harry Met Sally. I will totally just fake it and pretend that I am having a happy orgasm every time they bring it to me. I'm gonna yeah. Yeah, yeah, just do that. That is fucking weird. Okay? First of all, when somebody gives you a gift, do not sound like you have an orgasm. There might be some people that might find that interesting or attractive, but it better be your fucking husband. Or my fucking husband. Or the person that I share a bed with. Okay? You don't need to do that for your family member. That's just freaking weird, okay? If you're gonna do that, you're weird, okay? Please don't do that. You don't need to have enthusiasm. If you have good family members and they give you gifts, they know you're appreciative. They can feel it coming from you. They're like, you will look at this gift and you'll go, oh, yeah, this is really, oh, you got me this. And my aunt's, yeah, uh-huh. And she just feeds off the energy because she just loves the good energy and she's just like addicted to it. She loves it. And it's like, you really like it? And I'm like, yeah, really like it. You're gonna use it? Yeah, I'm really gonna use it. Oh, look, she's so excited. She was so excited. And her mom's like, yeah, it's really nice. You didn't get me anything. Mom, you know I would give you a gift anytime. Well, I know, but what about my birthday? Mom, it isn't your birthday. Well, still, you can get me a gift, like, when it's not my birthday. Mom, I do things for you every day. Yeah, that would just go back and forth with my aunt, my grandmother. That was great. Oh, yeah, that's the secret. That's the spoiler. The woman that raised me, or the woman that tried to raise me, let's rephrase it. The woman that thought she could raise me, who actually didn't. She just happened to spend more time with me. A lot, like too much, was my grandmother. So yeah, my aunt was my grandmother's child, so they're mother and daughter. Yeah, in case you didn't know how I know the family dynamics is so confusing because you're like, wait, uncle, aunt. So if your aunt is your grandmother's daughter, that makes her niece. No, daughter. I know. It's, you need to stop listening to. I'm my own grandpa. Actually, probably you should listen to it at least 10 times. I mean 5. Sorry, let's not go OCD. Let's not go to OCD. Unless you really like it. And if you do, please listen to the Muppet version. I'm just saying. That's a really good version. There's other versions, but the Muppet version is always the best. And if you are going to argue with me about how, like, the Muppets aren't the best, I cannot be your friend. I'm sorry. You don't like the Muppets? That's like telling me you don't like Baby Yoda. Seriously, I had a friend of mine. Friend that goes way back, okay? We were, I was 11, she was 9 or something. We were homeschooled. We were weird, okay? But we were friends. We had a social thing going and it was great. So we were great friends, still good friends. And she's like, texting me, she said, I don't like Baby Yoda. You don't like Grogu? Seriously? No, I don't like Baby Yoda. I can't like him. I won't like him. And I don't want to like him. I was like, okay, that's fine. That's fine. And I was like, really? Like, you seriously, where is your soul? But then I realized, maybe it's just not her thing. Not everybody's into Baby Grogu, but I'm like, it's so cute! It's so adorable! It's adorable Muppet! Okay? I don't care what you say. I don't really care what you say, but okay, Yoda is a Muppet, okay? Grogu, he's also a Muppet, okay? They're both Muppets. And Muppets are freaking adorable, and if you disagree with me, you may be my friend still, but I might not talk to you for a while. Mostly because I'm busy, but yeah. We might have to have an intervention. Why do you not like Grogu? Why? Where? Has your soul gone? Have you put your heart in a box? No, that's typically one of the reasons that, like there was just one time where, yeah, my aunt does this. My aunt, she just is a sucker for babies. And so so we're over at this woman's house. I don't need to tell you it was a place she was working. And I wanted to take advantage because they had free cable. So I was like, yay! So I just sat there and watched TV for 10 hours. And so she was like, there's a baby. And I said, yeah, there's a baby. I kind of know that there's a baby. I've been hearing crying. But there's a baby. And I said, yeah, I know there's a baby. So now I had previously already seen the baby. Like some guy with the whitest ass t-shirt that I've ever seen in my life came out and was like patting the baby. He didn't look too happy. He was like, I just woke up. I think I'm gonna barf, but I think the baby will first, so that's gonna be gross. And so he was just doing that. And then she, like 20 minutes later, she goes in down this hallway and she brings out the baby and she says, have you seen the baby? Yeah, huh? No, have you seen the baby? Yes, I have seen the baby, but I didn't hear you. And I kind of just looked at her. I was just like, Buffy, yes, I've seen the baby. It's so cute. It's so adorable. I was like, I'm really happy for you. And that's fantastic. Your enthusiasm is granted. It's a little too much right now. I'm just trying to watch TV. Thank you for trying to share the baby with me. I appreciate it. I love you. Please leave me alone. If you say the baby again, I will permanently drown you out, at least for the day. Probably not tomorrow, but for today. So, thank you very much for trying to share this bundle of joy. And I don't know about this, but the baby was not like that extraordinary. It was kind of small, and it had these little hook like arms. You ever notice that about babies? They just have like these hooked arms all the time. It's like, it's rated R. They have these pirate hands. They're like, and it's like, it's just like that. They have these little. It's like they're and they keep doing this all the time, which is like a thing that they do. It's a reflex actually. They're trying out, and that's really healthy. In a lot of places in nature, especially with monkeys, if they cannot grip, they often get left behind. So that's fantastic because gripping is really like it's one of the main things that you're supposed to know how to do when you're a baby. So that's fantastic that those are functioning, but it just seems like they're just like grabbing, and it's just, I don't know what it is. It's kind of creepy to me. Okay. It's a little bit creepy. Not that babies are creepy. It's just that is creepy. It's like they're grabbing for things. They're like, boobs, boobies, boobies. And I'm like, no. Yeah, I don't think I want that. Thank you. And so, and of course, when a baby first wakes up, they're like, so of course, when somebody brings this baby, they're like, look at the baby. And it's like, and I'm like, oh, yes, that's a baby. He, she, it's a she. Oh, okay. Very beautiful, thank you. Did they just wake up? It looks like they need a nap. They already took a nap. They just woke up. Okay. Fair enough, mornings suck. I understand. And it's just like, I don't know what to do with that, because this is like, I'm not saying I know all babies are beautiful and special and important. Okay, they all are unique, and I've never seen a baby that I've looked at and said, oh, that's an ugly one over there. That's really funny looking. I mean, the nose and the huge. You know, I'm not like that person. I'm not that kind of person that's gonna say, oh yeah, just all nose, all in. There's people that do that, and that's just not me. I'm not looking at this baby and saying, ew. I'm just saying, I just don't see that as being, oh, let's grab a hold of the baby and devour it. It's just like that's the instinct that a lot of women have, and I just don't have that. I guess I don't have the same amount of enthusiasm that other people have when they see a baby. Now, you bring a pit bull to me, completely different story. Completely different story. You bring your pit bull. Bring your pit bull, please. Bring the pit bull to me. Please, please don't bring your kids. Bring your pit bull. Bring your dog babies to me. I will make a fuss over them. I will give them butt scratches. I will give them belly rubs. I will let them stay on my lap. And I will let them do whatever they want. They want to nibble my chin, lick my face for an hour, that's fine. Just bring them, and I will treat that pit bull like it was a child. I once saw a pit bull, and it was like a kind of a golden, like beige kind of color. And I looked at this pit bull and I said, oh, pit bull. Buffy, pit bull. What? She's like, what? What are you saying? I don't understand what you're doing. She was like kind of in a mood at the time. And it's like, pit bull. Yes, it's a pit bull. That's nice. No, pit bull. Yes, I've heard you, Kelsey. There's a pit bull. Don't you want to pet it? No. Why not? I'm just not into that kind of thing. I'm not into like pit bull. You go pet it. Don't you? Can't you go with me? No, you can go by yourself. Big girl, you can go. But it's so cute! Yes, that's nice. Go. I'm sure he won't mind, because there was an owner. An owner holding the pit bull. The pit bull isn't just sitting there by itself. That would be just irresponsible and dangerous. You don't just go to a random pit bull that's off leash. That would be kind of gutsy. Yeah, don't do that. So yeah, I looked at the pit bull, and everybody was petting the pit bull, so I assumed that was okay for me to go over and pet the dog. So, and it was huge, by the way. It was like 90 pounds. He was a big boy. And so I pet the dog, and the dog, of course, was like, the pit bull, and I because I was scratching the back, I was going, and the dog is like, oh yes, I like that so much. And I was like, okay, you're enjoying it. And then he starts leaning into me. You know how dogs do that? They just lean their hind legs into you, and they kind of go like this. They're like, ooh, I like you so much. And I'm like, and then, he would turn around so I could do the other side, and then he would lean on me on the other side, and then he would do that. And yeah, it was really fun. Actually, it was fantastic. So, I could have done that all day, literally. Like, I could have done that, like, all day. And I don't know, dogs are dogs. When I was a kid, I was a little bit scared of dogs, because especially when it came to puppies, because puppies would just come at you. They'd be like, ah, person, yay! I'm gonna pretend to jump on you. Just kidding. I was just excited. Hi. And I just thought that was very scary when I was a kid. Yeah, I thought that was very scary. But then, as I got older, I realized, there's nothing wrong with being scared, but just you can be nervous, but don't be scared, because essentially, dogs can smell your fear, and they will demand you to give them belly rubs. They will. You have to assume that every dog, I don't care where it is, what kind of dog it is, you're going to assume that they will want belly rubs and butt scratches. That's just what they want. They're very simple creatures. And, they just want food. If you want food, you take them out and you feed them they're yours. They're yours. And then they flop onto your bed like they own it. But they're very appreciative. They're like, yay, they use don't mind. They're just like that. They just have this. I think all dogs are a bit goofy, especially when you get big dogs. Big dogs are lovers. They're always lovers. But you get one of those little tiny dogs. I'm sorry, I don't get the appeal. I always hear this thing, and this is what I got from this guy. He was a pastor, and he said that if you can flush your dog down the toilet, it's not a dog, it's a rat. So you might as well just get a rat. I'd say like, that would be more fashionable. And I understand. It's like, oh, can you imagine? It's just like, well, I went to the pound the other day. I went to the Humane Society, and I just saw this lovely dog. It was black. It was so adorable. And they're like, what kind of dog? It's a Chihuahua. I just thought that, he just needed a home, and he was shivering and shaking, and he was standing in his own piddle, and I just thought, yeah, he needs me. I was like, so you got the most scared and pitiful and the smallest dog you could imagine, and you picked that out. You said, yeah, I want that one. That one, I can hardly tell that it's there, but it's there, and I will probably trip on it in the night because it is so small. You want that. If you want that, okay, if you want an animal that's that size, just go get a rat. Okay, please go get a rat. Or better yet, just get a cat. Okay, just get a cat. That would be better, because it's just like, why? Why do you want a dog that is that freaking small? And I've seen these dogs. Oh, this was really funny. So I go to my grandma's apartment, she lives in it. And so I go, and I'm coming back from, the store or something. And I go by, and this is down the hallway, and there's all these apartments. It's one of those apartments where there's an apartment, blah, 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 blah. And so they're there, and this guy, he's like, hi. And he has this Chihuahua mix. It seems like everybody in this building has Chihuahuas. I'm not even joking. And so he had a leash that was 10 feet long. 10 fucking feet long. And he has no slack. He has no, he has slack, obviously, but he's not even, pulling the leash. He's just like, I'm just pulling the leash here. I'm walking my dog. So the dog looks at me and goes like this, and looks up at me and goes, and hesitates for a moment, and then all of a sudden something just snaps. It's almost like you could hear the snap in the mind, and its neck just go like that, and it just went, I hate you, ah! Who's a scary person? It's taller than me, ah! And it was just doing that, and it was just doing that and doing that, and I knew it was out of fear, but I was not really. And as I said, this dog is 2 inches tall, and I said, oh, I'm really, really scared of you. And as this is going, you can kind of, so finally he tries to pull it like this, like he's doing a lawnmower, and he goes like this, and you can hear the dog going, skittering, but he's not going anywhere. And you can see smoke going there. Yeah, as he's picking up traction and trying to go, but the floor is way too waxed, so he can't go anywhere, and he's keeps pulling him back. Finally, he lets go, and he tries to go back in the apartment, but the dog keeps coming towards me, so he keeps doing this, and he's trying to do this, and finally he's like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. It's like, really, it's okay. It's okay. The dog is not really gonna hurt me. It's a freaking Chihuahua. If it was 10 Chihuahuas, maybe I might be scared. But and you don't have a pack, so it's one chihuahua. What's it gonna do? Eat my leggings? You know? What's it gonna do? Eat my socks? Eat my shoes? It's probably gonna take forever because it's such a small dog. Is it gonna eat me? That's gonna take a long time, I'm gonna tell you, because it is a really small dog and I'm a lot bigger than that. So come on, you going around. And so anyway, so finally he somehow, as he's going backwards as he's pulling the dog back, and the dog keeps just shooting forward like a little cartoon dog. And finally he manages to very quickly, I don't know how he does this, I guess with his ninja skills, he kind of sticks his head out and says, "Sorry!" And then he shuts the door. And he goes like that. And I can still hear the dog barking. And every time I pass this door, it barks. However, I've been there so many times that actually one time the dog tried to go up to me and he had this look of pure terror. He was like he was expecting something horrible to happen, and the dog just went, "You're okay," and then just kind of trotted back to his owner. She was like, she just trotted back to him. She was just, "Yeah, it smell good. I smell a good person. Yeah, they have a dog. I know these things. I know when people smell good." So it's like, yeah, so I've never had any trouble with that dog again. There was one time. Now, this is one of the things I'm not supposed to do. I'm not supposed to go like that. "Hi, would you like to pet my hand?" Because it's really intimidating. Have you ever tried to do this to somebody? "Hello, hello. Oh, good boy, good boy." That would be so scary and could you imagine what a chihuahua is feeling when they do that? That would be freaking scary. So I try not to do, but so I did this. So it's like at the level of the dog. So I wasn't going, or doing, I wasn't doing that. I was doing this. I was just like, here's my hand. You want to sniff it? You can. I made it as limp as possible. I was just like, I wasn't trying to make it intimidating, which I thought, it just really shouldn't have. I wasn't thinking. I just thought it's a tiny chihuahua. I would be fine. And this dog lit. Did you see what she did? Did you see what she did? And it just seemed to be, it was so sad. It was like this was even tinier than the other one, that the other attack dog. Um, and you could tell that she was whimpering as she was like, she was like so upset. And I was like, "Oh." And then I could actually feel, she was like, I could feel like her teeth kind of graze my skin. Like they didn't even graze, they just slid across my skin. And I was like, "Oh." And the woman, who was a sweetheart, who had this dog on her walker, said, "I'm so sorry. I don't know why she's like that. I don't know why. I think she just needs to get used to you. She usually doesn't do that, but I don't know what to do with her." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, cool, cool, cool. I'm fine. I'm fine, fine." Um, yeah. I've survived. She didn't actually bite me. She didn't actually bite me, so it's cool. I've had a couple. I had like two dogs bite me. Um, One dog was like really old, and the other one had some sort of teeth that most of his teeth were her teeth were missing. So there wasn't really much of a threat. I didn't end up with stitches. I was just like, "Oh, oh, you bit me." Um, okay, all right, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And I'm one of those people that I am a pit bull advocate. I'm a dog advocate. I'm an animal advocate. I mean, I don't go out and hold signs and say, support the animals, don't kill them, don't study them. Well, please do study them, but not in the labs. Please, please, please don't do that. Don't do that. I don't do that. But I do this thing where I'll occasionally leave a comment about pit bulls. Um, and I'll follow all the pit bull sites on Instagram, which I did like 3 years ago. So, and I'm not on there anymore. So, great. I'm really making a difference. Can you tell? Yeah, I really did make a difference. Like, I'm just following people without following them. How do you follow people without following them? This is how you do it. You follow all the pit bull things on Instagram. Anything that has to do with pit bulls. And then you delete the app and you forget about it. Yeah. 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 That's what you do. It's an art form. It's actually pretty hard. It's really hardcore. Actually, it's very very hardcore. Yeah, very hardcore. And so that's one of those things. But I will mention to people. I'll be like, look. First of all, let's be serious, okay? For an instant, people demonize dogs. They demonize animals because it's like, oh, I would never do that. It's like, no, you wouldn't attack somebody and tear their intestines out. No. You wouldn't attack somebody and rip their throat out. No. You might kill somebody. You might rape someone. You might do this. You might do that. Not you particularly, but people in general will do that. And you might shoot somebody. But it's like, would you shoot a child? Like, the serious question is, like, if a child was annoying you, would you say, fuck, you're so annoying, I'm gonna shoot you in the fucking head? Bang! Would you do that? No, you wouldn't, because it's a child. They can't help to be annoying because they're kids. Maybe they can, but you don't freaking shoot them. If that's your solution, there's enough shooting going on out there, so that's not even funny. It's like, why would you do that? No, if he was your freaking child, you would do everything that you could. But just imagine for a moment, somebody tried to poison your kid because they were making too much noise. Does that make a lot of sense? Is like, your kid's being annoying, so I'm gonna put snail repellent into your kid's cereal. Why? Because I hate children. Well, that's what they do with dogs. Like, your dog is annoying and I hate dogs, and I'm gonna put snail repellent in there. I actually saw this. This is really, really sad. There was this beautiful Rottweiler, and they're kind of noisy. They're not really well known for their barking, but they will alert, the home if there's something going on out on the other side of the fence. They'll do that. So I guess this neighbor was sick of it, and they decided to put snail repellent in the food, and the dog almost died. I actually watched this dog nearly die. It was on YouTube. It must be true. No, it was one of those reality TV shows about. It was called Bondi Vet, and it was about this really nice Australian veterinarian, and he went back and forth to England, to Australia, and he managed both clinics with some help from his friends and coworkers. And so he went there and he did that. And yeah, this Rottweiler, and it just broke your heart because it was just like, oh my gosh. Like, you wouldn't do this to a child. You wouldn't shoot a child in the head, and you wouldn't poison a child. But you do that to a dog who literally has no control. They are just trying. Do you realize barking is the only way they communicate? It's the only way they communicate. They can't just say, I would like to alert you that there is somebody outside the house. There's somebody outside the house. Thank you, Spot. You're welcome. Sincerely, your dog. They can't just do that. They're communicating. They're communicating. They're saying, they're saying, there's somebody out there. There's somebody out there. I think you should know. I think you should know. They're just trying to do that. And you can make it less of a problem by, saying, hey, let's not do this right now. And just be understanding. Don't yell at them. Just say, hey, let's get some, hey, you want some kibble? You want some bacon bits? Come on. Come on, come on, come on. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's play a game. Let's play a game. Let's do something. Distract them. Do something. Do something. But I guess this neighbor had it, and they were the neighbor from Howell, and they decided to put snail poison in it. That just doesn't, that is the cruelest thing that you could do. If you had seen this video, you would agree with me. And if you frickin' say, oh, they deserved it. Okay, first of all, children are a little bit different, okay? Children are little shits. They are. Dogs, on the other hand, have very simple minds. They're very simple. They don't have to worry about a lot of, and they have the intelligence of a 5-year-old child, by the way. So they can form if they had probably had the concept to learn how to speak, if you could just like set up one of those weird, have you ever seen that Inspector Gadget where they had a device that would translate whatever the dog was saying? If you did that, they probably would speak in full sentences, and they probably would have a conversation with you. They've proven this with science and such. So yes, they understand manipulation, they understand some of those things, but they never to the point where it's like, I manipulate because I'm evil. It's more like, I manipulate because I eat. I eat? I eat today? I'm going to look at you for long periods of time. Yes. I see you have that sandwich. May I have sandwich? No? Okay, I'm going to turn away and I'm going to look at you. No, I'm not looking at you. I'm not looking at you. I'm not looking at you. No. I'm looking at you. I can see you. Can I please have some? Please. They'll do that. They'll do that. And it's adorable. It's really freaking annoying, but it's adorable. And then, one of my dogs does that. Where they're like, pretzels. Yes, I have pretzels. I really like pretzels. Do you even know what pretzels are? Yes. They are good. Lucy? They are good, but they are mine. Are they mine too? No, these are Kelsey's. These are Kelsey's. And mine. No. They are Kelsey's. Mine too? No. They're Kelsey's. Are you sure? Yeah, I'm really sure. I'm sure about that. Why? Why? Lucy, please don't pout. I want to have pretzel. Please. No. Why you say no? Because you're not getting any. Okay. I love you. Yes, I love you too. Will I get to eat again? Yes. When it's dinner. I don't get a snack? No, you don't get a snack. Okay, I'm gonna go beg to Grandma. And she goes off to beg to Grandma. She does that. So yeah, that's the kind of the conversation between dogs. I actually understand dogs. I am an animal whisperer. I am. I really am. I am an animal. I'm an aminal. I'm an aminal whisperer. Like, I talk to aminals and they talk back to me. And when I go to someone's house and they say, Hey, hi, are you? Do you have any aminals, please? Where are all the aminals? There's one over there. Thank you. You got a horse? Horsey? So I go over and there's a horse. And there were several people. There was my aunt and some other people that I don't know who they are. I never met them until that day. So we all petting the horse and they're like, oh, nice horsey, nice horsey, nice. Oh, pretty horsey, pretty, 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 pretty horsey. And all I know is I just decided to quiet my mind because I just looked at this creature and I said, whoa, that is scary. They are this animal is so big. It is a big animal. Big, 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 big. And I just said, okay, quiet your mind. Quiet your mind. This is a horse. It will not hurt you. If you do not allow it to, it can feel your mind, feel your thoughts and your emotions. Just quiet your mind. Be peaceful. So I did. I was very peaceful. And I just very lightly touched the neck and, stroked the neck. And I went like that. And I just said, kind of with my thoughts, I said, you don't have to talk to me. I'm not going to talk to you. We're just going to feel each other's energy. And that's all we're going to do. And you know what the horse did? The horse fucking ignored everybody. I was just like, hi, how are you? What you doing? I like your energy. And it kept looking over like it was it would nuzzle my shirt. Like at first I thought it was gonna nibble my shirt, but it was just kind of nudge. And it did this about 3 times. It would look over at me like, are you still there? Are you still there? And she just kept doing that over and over and over and over. Everybody else was like, oh, nice horsey, pay attention to me. And he's like, these people they're too loud for me. They're too loud. You're quiet. I like that. Are you still there? You're still there? Good. I like you. Can you come again? I don't know about that, but it's good. Well, I like when you're here. I'm like, great, great, great. No, I've noticed this with horses because I've seen a lot of people that get weird about animals and they get really like excitable. They get excitable when they see an horsey. You ever seen that where kids are just weird? Some kids are just so weird. They're just like, horsey, puppy. No, honey, that's not a puppy. That's a horsey. But a big puppy. I want to eat a puppy up. No, we do not eat the horse. We do not eat the horse. No, I don't eat puppy. I just look at puppy and I pet puppy really hard. No, we do not pet the horsey. The horsey is not for us to pet. We have to be nice. Please do not put your fingers into the fence. But I want to touch horsey. No. And I've seen this where kids will do this. They'll get a blade of grass and they'll shove it in their face and they go, horsey! And the horse is like, why are you doing this, child? Where is your mother? I do not eat grass, simpleton. I eat oats from a bag, and it's a special bag. And when I'm particularly good, I get a sugar cube. Unless you have that, unless you have carrots, bananas, or oats, I'm not taking a fucking thing from you. Good sir, I would like you to kindly put your fingers within your own space, or I will bite them. And you will not like that. Please. And I just looked at this horse. I'm I don't know how old I was, like 12, and I just looked at this horse and I went, and it was looking down. It was a kind of pretending that the horse, in defense, instead of looking at this child who was holding this blade of grass that still had the roots at the end of it because they had pulled it so hard, they went like that. And so when they did that, the horse just went. It was almost giving the kid a Kubrick stare, and it pretended that it was going to eat the grass, even though I could tell he wasn't really eating the grass. He was just looking down. So maybe the child will go away. The man child. Go away, go away. So I look up, I look at this horse, and it looks up at me and looks at me and goes, and I look at the horse, and we just have this understanding of like, you're not like the others, are you? It's like, no. You are empath. I said, yes. Ah. We empaths. You empaths and the way of the horses have been one for many centuries. It started with the natives of long ago, and now it has visited, the spirit has visited upon the white souls that came after. I was like, yes, very, very, very true, very true. Yes, natives were empaths. Oh, yes, yes. They connected with nature. This is a rare gift indeed. And I'm like, yes, yes, it is quite a gift indeed. I enjoyed having this talk. It wasn't a talk. You had this conversation. Whole in your mind. Well, it was a good telepathic conversation then. It was great. You take care of yourself. Eat. Don't let those kids heckle you. Ah, they do not understand the ways of the horse. I ignore them. Good. Good thing. I will be with you in spirit. Oh, like the movie series? No. That's a horrible movie. It's very sad. It makes me cry. It makes me cry too. That's why I don't like it. I get too emotional. Yeah, it used to make me cry. Seriously, I watched the movie Spirit by DreamWorks that made me cry. That was the only movie that actually made me cry. I was like, the spirit, he just wants to be free, and he won't let him, and they make him a slave, and he just wants to be free. And then they try to put the shoehorns in him, they try to brand him, and it's just so sad. Like, I was a basket case. I just thought it was so sad because it was just like, the horses should be free. And I'm like I would pity anybody that came into that. Like, Kelsey, what are you talking about? The horses, they should all be free. They put saddles and brands and all those things in them. It's just terrible. It's animal abuse. Kelsey, that's not animal abuse. The saddles and saddles and saddles and shoehorns actually they actually help the horse. Oh, okay. Do they like to be ridden? Do like horses like to be ridden? Yeah, they do. Okay. Cool. Can we watch Shrek? Anyway, that was it for today. It's kind of animated. I'm sorry if I got too loud. And I'm sorry it went on too long. I hope you enjoyed this. I love you all, and I hope you all have a beautiful, blessed day.